Hello again, this is Kyle with the Inshore Edge. Today I'm going to introduce you to a technique called the drop shot. This will be while we are white trout fishing. Some of the most common techniques in inshore fishing are grab swimming a jig that has a soft plastic swim bait, maybe even a soft plastic straight tail, maybe a hard plastic twitch bait, and even top waters. The commonality in all these lures is that we're moving them. We hop them, we skip them, we twitch them, and they can be very effective for our inshore species. But often, in order to get bit on, these fish have to be somewhat active. I'm sure you've had situations where you know the fish are there, but you just can't get them to chase anything. So enter the drop shot. The premise of the drop shot is to be able to offer a lure to a fish in a manner that keeps the lure still or in place. You can move the lure very minimal, or you can shake it slightly, but the weight on the bottom allows you to keep it in place. So you can visualize putting a plastic in front of the fish and just leaving it there. It's pretty amazing how this can create a reaction strike to that fish, which otherwise was not going to chase anything. This technique is widely effective for speckled trout, redfish, flounder, and as you'll see today, white trout or sand trout. As you'll see in the video, we go from catching nothing to catching trout almost every cast, leaving 20 good fish in the cooler at the end of the day. If you look closely, you'll see I'm missing fish. Fish are short striking, what we call it. I'm not getting anything in the boat. So this leads me to try the drop shot. Damn it. I'm gonna drop a drop shot down there. That was quick. That was quick. He smoked that. So y'all, drop shot, man. That's the key. Okay. Drop shot. Smoked that one. You actually stop it and they smoke it. Like they don't even want it twitched all over the place. They just kind of let it stop and then they crush it. It's sitting there, I'm telling you, man. They want to come up and eat a freeloader, but they'll eat that drop shot. So we rolled up on this spot and I could see white trout here. There was white trout here the other day. And I'm trying to mid-stroll a freeloader over them, which we catch a lot of white trout on those, and getting short strikes, not getting bit. So I pull out the drop shot. So basically, see, I got a drop shot weight, a little cylindrical weight. This is 12-pound fluoro, a little, I believe size 1, little J hook, drop shot hook, and then a cast echo. I think it's a little 3-inch little plastic twitch tail bait. And what this allows me to do is to put it right on those fish that were short striking, not willing to come up and eat or chase a moving bait. I can just basically keep it there and basically shake it right in front of them. And sure enough, you can see they smoke it when you do that. So they can't handle it sitting right in front of them. So not super active fish, but you get something just to sit and they'll eat it. Drop shot is a fantastic tool here inshore for that exact reason. Inactive fish, you know they're there. You can't get them to eat anything. You're bouncing a jig in front of them, swimming something above them, whatever. That drop shot, you can cast into those fish and just jiggle it without moving that weight right in front of their face. We have kind of gentle currents here, so rarely is the current fast enough to actually move my bait out of the way. If it is, it's real slow. You can give those fish a long look at them, and if you got a good quality, realistic plastic in front of them, they'll suck it up. Smoked it. I was like, we'll go get it in a second. It's a nice one there. Nice white trout. Some good eating right there, y'all. So this works for white trout and specks. If you get lethargic specks, you can do the same thing. Good thick, good eating white trout. There are. Hence the one I just caught. That's a good one there, dude. It's a nice white trout. Nah, I'm good. All tangled up. I got him with a hook and the line. And just as an example, as you'll see in the video, my son is fishing with a very effective white trout bait and on a jig head, and he's letting it sit down. He's getting snagged a lot. He's trying to get it down to him, kind of go slow, and they won't touch it. Occasionally he gets a tap. I'm tossing in there with a drop shot, letting it sit, and they're just crushing it. So you wouldn't know that these fish are actually not super active the way they're hitting the drop shot. That's how effective it is. The beauty of this too is you can throw in different baits. So I'm gonna go a little bit bigger, 4.5 inch. There might be some bigger white trout here, so we're gonna see. I know how to get them to eat and under the presentation, so now I can offer them bigger baits. See if that makes a difference. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I can see pretty good fish on side scan. I'm not throwing into rocks. It's the first thing you should be doing. Damn. So, it's a good fish. I don't know if he's bigger, but he definitely ate it, and he ate it fast. So, I mean, that we'll see. I'll give the bigger bait a little bit of time. If I'm missing fish now, all of a sudden, I'll assume it's the same size trout, white trout, that just can't handle the bigger bait. Bigger's relative. I went from 3 inch to about 4.5 inch. Good white trout can eat that all day. So the other question is, why white trout, right? People generally associate those with being really small fish. They're good eating, but there's always a challenge within the challenge, right? Is it a challenge to go out and catch a mess of white trout? No, you can soak some shrimp on the bottom and do that all day. But there's a next level to it. It can be very fun, very challenging, is finding bigger white trout. You got to cover water, find the schools, find the right lures and things like that. But you can get up to 13 to 15 inch white trout, which is great size fish. Fun fight on lighter action rods and great eating. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Just like any species, the bigger they get, the more selective they are. And so, now how do you go about doing that? Well, white trout, I've noticed, will hang out in similar size, actually not necessarily always similar size school. They'll hang out with smaller fish, a lot more than specks. Specks, I've noticed, like, you know, you get exceptions, but generally your big trout will separate themselves from smaller trout. They may be close by, but they are in a different area. White trout will school together into some big schools. So the problem with that is, how do you get a bigger fish to eat? when they're all schooled up together. How do you get through and a bait to those bigger fish? You know, and a lot of times you'll just catch the little ones all day long. You just put on a drop shot? It's a toadfish.
I put on a little swim bait. That's cool.
Okay, quiet. So what I do is I use bigger baits. And it's very effective also. And again, you have to get the presentation right. You just can't throw it on there and whatever. In this case today, it's a drop shot. Bigger baits can get you those bigger fish. Sometimes when you're fishing a jig head, you can go up to 5-6 inches. If you know there's big white trout there, 14, 15, 16-inch white trout, you go 5-6 inches and the smaller white trout literally cannot get it in their mouth. And so that you'll feel it, especially in deeper water. They'll hit it, and then your lure keeps dropping and it'll get down to those bigger fish, and then boom, they thump it and it's a done deal. And so even though I'm drop shotting and catching fish, I'm finding out that even to get bit consistently with the drop shot, less is more. And so you can shake the hell out of a drop shot. But I'm getting bites better when I'm not shaking, when I actually stop the action. And so if any movement, it's maybe just current kind of moving the bait a little bit. But when you think about this, you put 2 and 2 together and you realize how valuable of a tool this is, having a drop shot. It's about the only bait, fishing with artificials, that you can just sit in front of a fish if you know they're there, and eventually get them to commit. It's effective in 80-degree weather right now. For whatever reason, these fish are inactive. It is also very effective in the wintertime. I've caught some trout up in the bayous when it's cold. They're sitting on the bottom. Coldest part of the day, can't get them to eat anything else. You set a drop shot in front of them. Caught some good trout that way. You can do the same with reds. Any fish, you know, kind of hold up inactive on the bottom, you can put a drop shot in front of them, and you can upscale drop shot. A lot of people think it's like medium light, light line, light fluoro, which I do have light here because I'm fishing for white trout. But you can beef this up. Years past in the California Delta, they'd call it Bubba shotting. It's like a heavy drop shot rig. You'd fish with a bait caster. So you'd fish a heavier cylindrical weight, you know, 12, 15, 17, 18 pound fluoro, and a bass hook essentially, you know, whether a flipping hook or whatever. And you could pitch in Senkos and big worms and things like that up into cover and just sit it in there, you know, and you know, bass are in there not eating your traditional stuff. You can just kind of sit in front of them and catch a ton of bass that way. So that can be very effective inshore too with reds and bigger trout and things like that. It's the same setup. It's basically a Palomar knot to the hook of your choice, and you leave a long tag end. And then at the end of that tag end, you basically get any size drop shot weight you want, and you just, you know, lock your line into the drop shot weight. You can mess around with different lengths. Mine's about 1 foot right now, 1 foot to 14, 15 inches. I've found that you make your length of leader to the size of fish you want to catch. So I'm at 14 inches, so I'm guaranteed to catch 14-inch white trout. Just kidding. Basically, it's the length that your longer your length, the higher your bait will be up off the bottom. Sometimes the fish are really hugging the bottom. You want a short leader, like 5-6 inches. Keep that bait right in front of their face. Sometimes just having a bait 1.5 feet above a fish is sitting on the bottom, just that small distance can make a difference and keep fish from eating. It's really interesting the way that works. These are Cast Echoes, great inshore drop shot bait, and you put it on a jig too, mid-stroll. It's a 3.5 inch. Pretty solid plastic, little twitch tail, little tail action, great colors, great baits. Cast Fishing, I think it's castfishing.com, but Cast Echoes, that bait. All right, so what we're doing now, so might upset some people, hurt some feelings with this, but white trout get a knock for being too mushy. You got to eat them the same day, aren't good if they're long, you know, last longer than a day or whatever. So what I'm doing here is I got a live well full of fish, right? And I got about, I don't know, 7, 8 white trout specks in there.
I kept them alive, right? And now the oxygen load, the need is just too much. I need to get these fish. I got enough to clean, so I'm gonna put them in the cooler as we're doing here. And we got a lot of ice. So notice, our white trout are not dead at any point until they are packed with ice. That's the specs there from earlier. So they're gonna go from live in the live well, again, whatever I decided I needed, because I still have that option to let them go. For some reason I didn't get enough, catch enough. And then we're gonna pack them with ice. And then I'm actually gonna add a little bit of salt water to that ice to make a little slushy mix. So again, no secrets here. I'm just making sure that these fish are cold. Again, I don't want them sitting on top of ice. I want them cold. I want them to be frozen, right? That's fine. Cold and frozen. And then we got an extra bag of ice. As we catch more today, if we do, we'll load that up too. And I'll do a follow-on a little bit later. I'll show you how, when I clean them, what we do. We're gonna clean them and the fillets will go right into an ice bath. Point being, cold the whole time. And if you do that, those simple steps, just take care, keep your white trout iced, you will have an excellent eating fish, bottom line. Not mushy. Is it a little bit softer than say specks? And yeah, absolutely, for sure. But it's not mushy. It's very workable. Fry it, handle it, mix it in batter, whatever you want to do. And the best part is I don't have to eat it the same day. I can freeze them totally solidified in water, make sure there's, just like any fish, there's no air getting in touch, so you don't get, with a fish, you don't get freezer burn. And what happens is I can eat it months, 2 months, 3 months later, pull out white trout. We do it all the time, and it's just as fresh as if I just caught it. Same with any other fish. It's all about the care involved with these fish. Naturally, you can imagine a lot of people, you can see it in pictures, you can see it in videos, just people you may know. People are kind of lazy when it comes to icing your fish properly, if icing it at all. And yes, certain fish will give you more leeway than others. So that doesn't mean white trout are no good. It just means they need proper care more so than something else. But remember, all fish meat is a volatile, it's a protein you got to be gentle with. The minute it starts going bad at room temp, it may not lose its texture, different fish, but it will affect flavor. So fishy tasting, you know, that kind of taste, you know, fish that aren't supposed to taste fishy tasting. Real white meat can get fishy tasting if that meat is left at room temperature or even out in the heat, not iced properly. So just take care of it and you'll have a lot better situation with your eating.